Welcome back to OmniFoot TV. This is your host Omar speaking, and today I'm going to cover Group B of Euro 2021. Let's start off with Belgium, shall we? They've done a very good job under Roberto Martinez, most recently reaching the semifinals of the 2018 World Cup. The man who was officially quoted as saying, "Tactically, I've never lost a match," has led them to the Euros, and he's basically trying to do the best he can with their aging golden generation. Yep. Their golden generation has genuinely started to decline. Time hits you like a truck, doesn't it? Now, I think his only two problems are De Bruyne and Hazard. De Bruyne is currently injured. Hazard has had a horrible season for Madrid, horrible couple of seasons. He's been under immense scrutiny. He hasn't been able to remain fit. He keeps getting injured. Although, I would say that he is their wild card. The last time he went out on international duty, the medical staff at Belgium were able to get him up and running. And when he went back to Madrid, he got injured again. So I would say that the problem here is the medical staff. Belgium have a good crop of players, most notably, in my opinion, Yuri Tielemans and Thorgan Hazard. What is his name? Anthony Castagna, I think. Can't remember his first name, but Castagna and Tielemans have been brilliant for Leicester. And I would say that Thorgan Hazard is actually going to be much more instrumental than his brother. He scored in his last outing with the Belgian national team, as far as I've checked. And one cannot understate or overstate Lukaku's importance for this team, having been voted Serie A Player of the Year. Now, I would also say that people should not sleep on Mertens, because he's been instrumental for Belgium in the past, and I think he will continue to be. Now, Belgium's best finish at the Euros was in 1980 when they came in as runners-up. They were second in that tournament. And I think that Martinez has very little time left to squeeze something out of this Belgian side. They've been ranked first in FIFA's world ranking for close to 3 years now, and in my humble opinion, they should have been the ones to reach the World Cup final. But, that time has passed for that. Martinez, I think, has his very last chance to win something with Belgium. And I think he's redeemed himself in general as one of the best tacticians carrying and managing a national side. Now, I don't think it would be controversial to say that they would top their group, because if you look at them on paper and if you look at their record, it's not really that far-fetched at all. Now, I'm going to go over to Denmark, who are quite the strange case. Their manager is young. He took over from Ajay Hareide, if I've pronounced that properly, ahead of this tournament. He was supposed to take over after Euro 2020, but due to the fact the tournament was postponed, he is going to be the one to take them to the tournament himself. Now, his name is Kasper Hulman. He has had little to no experience at club level. Well, not little to no experience. I mean, he won the Danish league title with Nordjylland, if I'm butchering that. And he didn't really cut it in the Bundesliga when he was appointed as Mainz manager, so he was sacked. Now, I think he's actually done a bit well to get this Danish team organized. They have a very good midfield and have a good defensive partnership as well. They've actually scored 14 or 15 goals in their last 3 games, which were World Cup qualifiers against Moldova, Israel, and Austria. And, as far as we know, they won't have that much luck scoring in the tournament. But I think that they could qualify as dark horses if they manage to keep some of that form up. And, well, I think everyone knows that their best finish was in Euro 92 when they actually won the trophy. Back when when Peter Schmeichel was their goalkeeper. Kasper. I have to say, though, this Danish side has seemingly a good crop of players. And I think Kasper Schmeichel, I keep mixing them up for some reason. It's horrible. I think Kasper Schmeichel could play a key role for this team just as he did in the last World Cup. It was actually his heroics that kept them in the tournament back when they had to when they had a penalty against Croatia, when they conceded the penalty against Croatia and then went on to face them in shootouts in the same game. He did quite well, but Pleticosa actually got the better of him, saving I think he saved 3 penalties in the shootout. Now, apart from Kasper, I think the partnership of Kjær and Christensen is going to be key. I think Højbjerg has been brilliant for Spurs this past season. At one point, I thought he was the signing of the season. His partnership with Delaney in midfield has been solid. If Eriksen can keep up his form on the international stage with Denmark, then I'll definitely assume that they'll finish second in this group. And then you have Martin Braithwaite, who somehow plays for Barcelona still. I think he scored in the last game as well. They have something there. They have something there with those crop of players. They have Schmeichel in goal, Kjær and Christensen, the centre-back partnership. I think that will be key. Højbjerg and Delaney in midfield. And then you have Eriksen in centre-attacking midfield and Braithwaite up front. That is, if they don't play Yusuf Poulsen. They've got something there. They're a well-organized machine. They have a very strong spine, so to speak. And I would assume that they will finish second. On to Russia. Stanislav Cherchesov has been managing the team since, I think, 2014. And the man... I mean, what more can be said about what he did with them at the World Cup? Seriously. Knocking Spain out. That was one of the highlights of the tournament. Most of the players who played under him, though, at that point, who were, seasoned veterans like Igor Akinfeev and the centre-back partnership they had, have retired. So they have some issues at the back due to the fact that, inexperienced players trying to put together a proper centre-back partnership. That's never easy. Although Golovin has been key. He's been okay for Monaco this season, I'd say. Dziuba has been all over the place. I think he scored a good amount of their goals throughout the qualifiers. And if somehow he shows up again, Denis Cheryshev could steal the tournament. And by steal the tournament, I mean steal the show, not necessarily, win them the cup, because that would be really far. But still, you get the point. The fact that they finished behind Belgium in their qualifying group, and that they're going to face them again in the group stage must really exhaust the Russian fans. But either way, if they manage to play as heroically as they did back then, and also, just making sure, I did not forget about Mario Fernandes, who's probably their best fullback and one of their best players. If they play as well as they did in the World Cup and maintain a solid, organized structure on the pitch, they could actually cause an upset. But I will have to relegate them behind Denmark, finishing third. If this Danish side fires through as well as they have in their last couple of games, irrespective of who the opposition was, I think everyone in this group is going to be in trouble. And Finland. Markku Kanerva is actually a former teacher. He has little to no club management experience, and he's led the side since 2016. Their key player is obviously Teemu Pukki. He scored 10 of their 16 qualifying goals throughout qualifiers. And, you'd want them to be the next Iceland. I'm not necessarily sure if they have that potential. You have to give them the benefit of the doubt. But for now, on paper, I would relegate them to finishing last in their group. And basically that ends this video. Thank you for tuning in. It's kind of awkward shooting a video after a couple of days off. I'm trying to be as clear and as concise as possible despite being a bit nervous. That's why I take notes. And the video on Group C is also on the way. I'm shooting one for each group, so stay tuned. Thank you for tuning in again. If you have any, anything you disagree with that I've said, please let me know in the comments. If you disagree with what I've said, also let me know in the comments. Like and comment. I'll basically reply to everyone I can. this whole thing. I do this thing because I love this sport. So yeah, I'd like to be able to form a community of people who do the same, who feel the same way. Our social media accounts, the links are in the description below to every one of these accounts. And I'll see you next time the whistle blows. Cheers, everyone.